Okay, so I
Thank
want to
you.
talk more about the fundraising because
Yeah.
that's a major challenge for a lot of businesses, a lot of fashion
hmm
businesses, especially
hmm
because it takes a lot of capital to build a fashion business. So
Yeah.
you talked about fundraising through
hmm
crowdfunding
hmm
and through obtaining a small business loan. So can you tell me a little bit about the process with that? What crowdfunding
Sure.
site did you use? What was your
Yeah.
experience with that?
I first went through Kiva. They're a nonprofit organization,
Mm,
and not only can entrepreneurs in the States, but it's also global. So you can fundraise or crowdfund up to 10,000. I think maybe it's more now. And you have to do an application, and then there's like two different steps or so. Like by your first week or so, like there's 30 days that you have to raise this money. So
okay.
like the first week or two, you have to get at least 25 of your network to contribute at least $25 towards your crowd fund.
So you would have
Um,
to basically market this to your community.
oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
You I find the most effective way is to call people, like not
Yeah.
to just send an email, like
Yeah.
or send. I mean, you can send a text, obviously, for like reminders, but like calling people, I'm like, hey, I know you heard about this little brand. Well, it's really actually growing, and I'd love your support. Blah blah
Mm,
blah. All you need to do is contribute at least $25 towards my crowd fund. I have this, like my deadline is this time, and I really
yeah.
and all of that. So you need 25 people to 15 or 25 people to contribute within a certain time period. And then you have to crowdfund the rest. What was great is that other companies, like say LinkedIn or like Microsoft or
Yeah.
whoever, they did matching programs. So say for a certain amount of
Wow.
days, they would match whoever's contributions during that time. So Kiva had a really great like network and how in that aspect. But the cool thing about Kiva is that it's actually you repay after you've raised the funds, you repay that each month at 0% interest.
Okay.
So, and I think it's up to 3 years or so. So anyway,
So instead of for example, like I did Indiegogo for my
mm-hmm,
crowdfunding and
mm-hmm,
they you don't get equity in the company, but you do get product. So this is
mm-hmm.
they're getting their money back basically.
Yep, yep.
You're not giving product.
Not giving product, they're
Okay.
getting their money back. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
I've never heard of this site.
yeah. Kiva, Kiva. And you could do it multiple times as well too. And it was a great like way to, really be your true test. Like, do you really want this or not? Because back
Mm-hmm.
then you think like 10K is a lot of money, I mean, it is a lot of money, but I think once you start to get
Yeah.
into it, it's just like, it's
It's like
not.
$100.
Right, right. I feel like everything is $10,000
Yeah, I
now.
was just explaining to someone like $1,000 is like $100 in like business world. It's
hmm
not going to get you very far. But yeah,
hmm
when
Or
you're just
even just in
starting
your
out
30s.
anything, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
in California especially. Um, but yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So you did Kiva, that was
hmm
successfully
Yeah.
crowdfunded, and then tell me about the small business loan. Where did you get that through, and how did the process
Yeah.
for that go?
So I worked with a business advisor through Optima Business Bootcamp. Her name is Ronnie Langer and Kroger, and we worked together every week for like 9 weeks on my business plan to help, like in my application for a business loan. So we worked on that together tirelessly, and I felt really sound and really confident in it. And I applied for my first business loan through Working Solutions. They're
Okay.
also a nonprofit organization that funds small businesses and startups that are between the 0 to 5 years old range. And because it's so hard for small business owners to get funding in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
because you have no sales history, you have just or maybe very little sales,
Yeah.
as well. And you would need to, most banks, they want at least like 2 to 5 years worth of history before you start to apply for anything with them. And so the process was like a simple application, like how many businesses or business owners are involved and what are your sales projections. You include your business plan and all of that. And I submitted my business plan, like I said. And so they, Working Solutions at the time, they funded up to 50,000 or so. And we were at the time approved for 40. So I was like, let me just take it all
Wow.
because
So you
I don't.
raised 40 from the small business loan. How much for
Mm-hmm.
from the crowdfunding?
10.
10. So you had $50,000 to start off with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As a full, when I'm full time. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
When I was full
amazing.
time, where I am still. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did that. That was, I would say my first loan was, I want to say October. The first month into entrepreneurship was August 2017. And
Mm-hmm.
then September, October. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
October.
you raced pretty quick.
It was my livelihood. you
You
know?
know, I always say when your back is up against the wall and you put all in, like you're gonna figure it out. You're gonna make that money somehow if you really
Somehow,
believe in
some
it.
way. And I will tell you, I wasn't sure that I was gonna make it in the crowd fund because I had about $4,000 left, like the last 4 days of like crowdfunding. I was
Oh
like,
my gosh.
this isn't gonna happen.
Is
This
it
isn't,
one
I
of
was
those where you have to
stressed.
make the whole thing in order to get the money? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like Kickstarter.
Yes, basically. And
Yeah.
I was stressed. I was pacing up and down. I was like, I'm just gonna work on I was like so tight.
Oh
So
my
tight right
gosh, I
here.
bet.
But then one person, I don't even know this person, put the full 4,000. And I was
Amazing.
bawling. I was,
I
I don't know
bet.
who you are. So and so in New York. Thank you so much. Oh my
That
gosh.
is so
So
amazing.
yeah, but some stranger believed in me so much that they just dropped 4K.
And that's why you have to continue to believe until the last second because it's really easy to
Yes.
look at the natural and be like, it's not gonna happen, you know? So it's
Mm-hmm.
just so amazing to see how that kind of all panned out and you made the whole goal.
I was I actually thinking about it now, like I have goosebumps because of how I remember exactly how I felt. I was like, okay, we better make this work.
And you have. Here we are 8 years later, and you've made it work.
Yeah.
So thank you to whoever that was that invested in this, because
I
look what it's
know.
produced. Oh, I love it. That's awesome. Okay, so tell me what you guys did after raising that
Hmm.
40, 50K? Did we say
Yeah.
50? Yeah.
Hmm.
So what was your first step when you got that money? Did you know exactly where to invest it right away? Did it go right to production? Like what did you take that and
I
do?
I definitely divvied it up mostly to inventory so that we can have that in order to just make sales.
Yeah.
And then we invested into marketings and also just for just general operations like these application booth fees that were really the pop-ups were mainly in the beginning, probably like 90% of our business, so we had to keep popping up and going and going and going and all of that. So just general operations on that end. So inventory and operations was just it because at the time I didn't have a studio. I
Hmm.
didn't have an employees. I I did partner with opening a store with two other business owners the following year. So just yeah, it was mainly just product and operations.
Okay. And how many styles did you start off with? Did you start
In the
smaller or like
Oh
what did
yeah.
your
Oh
collection
yeah.
look like in the
I think we
beginning?
had we had our Sheba tote, our Tilak messenger. I think were we doing buckets back then? I think when we had like maybe a wallet and a bucket backpack. We
Hmm.
had like four styles and like maybe three colors or so.
Yeah.
So that's how we started, which is very like minimal and like the tried and true like essentials for everyday kind of wear.
Yeah.
And now I think we're at like 100 different SKUs.
Wow. How did you start with those though? Did you have any proof of concept with the styles that you ended up producing? Did you have feedback on those? I know the messenger you off the bat
Hmm.
was like a fan favorite, but what about the other styles?
Yeah, the messenger was the still tried and true even till this day.
Wow.
The Shiba tote was just something like, well, okay, not everyone wears a messenger bag. Like some, you may think that this is more of like a masculine kind of style or whatever it may be, but everyone wears a tote, and totes are
Mm-hmm.
probably definitely are one of our top selling styles. And I wanted to make it with a zipper. There were still hardly any totes with zippers. And I just wanted, like, in the Bay Area, we just commute, but I just thought of like, I asked everyone, what is your commute like? Or what is your day to day like? What are your needs? You know what I mean? How can I help you in
Yeah.
that aspect? And so, like, I really need this. I'm on BART, so I need security and, like, make sure all my
Mm.
stuff is collected and together. And then some other people were like, hey, I need two straps because I have back issues. So
Yeah.
backpacks, perfect. Okay. So those were the things we kind of focused on.
Hey, fashion entrepreneur. Did you know that at makegoodfashion.com, we've curated a library of free resources to help you uplevel your fashion business? Yep, that's right. Just head over to makegoodfashion.com and hit free resources to gain access to our selection of checklists, guides, and downloadable PDFs to help you on your fashion business journey. We have resources to help you find a manufacturer, production checklist, brand identity style guides, and much more. So make sure to head over to makegoodfashion.com or hit the link in the description to get your hands on those resources.